Today on the Ayden Jackson Show, we're going to be discussing a few things that have happened in the world over the last week, mainly the State of the Union and us now potentially being involved in war, stuff like that. So let's go and get right into the episode. Broadcasting from my studio, my name is Ayden, and this is the Ayden Jackson Show. If you're new here, I'm a country singer, songwriter. On this podcast, I discuss country music news, world news, without, giving my opinions on things, of course. I try to avoid going into too controversial of subjects. But the last week, there's been some news developments. Things in my life there's been ups and downs. I had a good time this last weekend, and I had some positive things happen to me sometimes while I'm at work. Positive things happen, but yeah, there's been a few things that have went on in the world over the last week. I'm very tired when I'm recording this episode. I'm wearing my contacts, so my eyes hurt because I'm so tired. But the State of the Union happened last Tuesday. It was a typical State of the Union. Anytime there's a State of the Union, and this doesn't really matter what president's in there, what side they're on. The opposite side always sits whenever people stand up and clap, which, I think everybody should clap no matter who's in there, just in general, just to show respect. I don't think there should be feuding between politicians and them showing disrespect and protesting and stuff. But, regardless of how you feel about any president, because, I even think some of the ways, people were acting when Biden was in there, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it just, is what it is. I think politicians should be professional. Now, obviously, there's some things Trump says here and there that aren't very professional, and sometimes he'll go on these, tangents where he says stuff that is what? Is dude, just get to the point. That happens a lot, so yeah, I'm not going to get, too much into, political opinions or anything, but I didn't watch the entire thing because I had to go to bed. It was 10:30, close to 11, and I was like, yeah, I need some sleep. So I went to sleep, and haven't been sleeping very well here recently. Some nights are a little better than others. I deal with a lot of racing thoughts at night, and my brain won't shut down. A lot of different things in my life that are stressing me out, and a lot of things. But I also, during the day, because I don't get much sleep, I have a lot of energy drinks, and that I'm sure isn't good for the picture. But me not sleeping well has been going on for a while, and I used to smoke weed to help me sleep, and I don't do that anymore, so it's even worse now. It was getting to a point to where I would get super, super high and still not be able to go to sleep, though. So, I mean, I just messed up sleep schedule, or messed up sleeping altogether. I'm not sleeping the best, and you can kind of tell. But anyways, the U.S. struck Iran, killed their top leader, or whatever. I think this happened Saturday or Sunday. Mixed opinions on this. I'm not going to get into anything political, like what I think based on my political opinion, because things like this, I just think you objectively need to think about. And pros and cons. Obviously, the leader of Iran being dead, is not a bad thing. Um, However, this could potentially get us into war, which is not a good thing. So, and other countries are getting involved, I believe. I don't keep up with the news too much because honestly it's kind of depressing, and when you're already dealing with a lot in your life that's depressing and sometimes some good, but when you're dealing with things where you feel depressed all the time, it's not good to constantly look at the news. It's just not. Most of it's meant to divide people anyways. So if I see a headline pop up, I'll look into it a little bit. I know that the U.S. is now involved in a war with Iran or something along those lines, but their leader's dead. But I'm super tired and have a very busy life and just don't keep up with headlines very much. And honestly, that's been good for me, even though I'm stressed out all the time. So I had a good time this last weekend. I think I talked about in last week's episode that I was getting together with someone and doing a co-write. I did do that. We wrote an amazing song. I'm actually in the process of recording a demo for it, so I'm excited about that. It's actually a really good song and kind of relatable, which is when you deal with heartbreak and drinking and stuff, and I was smoking weed a lot. Writing a song about it is kind of relatable. I'm not gonna lie, it's there's things in that song. Obviously, there's things in every song that are a little bit, not direct to situations in my life or whatever. It could be whoever I'm writing with, their life, but I got all sorts of songs, and I think you guys will like my new music when it is released because these songs are amazing. Within the next few episodes, I plan on, starting doing some acoustic performances. I was actually going to try that in today's episode, but honestly, I was just exhausted because, when you go to bed at 10, 11 at night, you wake up at 4:30, you're exhausted, and you're exhausted by the time lunchtime rolls around. And you have a full-time job, you're exhausted all the time. And I even have other job opportunities that are kind of coming at me right now that I could potentially do on the weekends and even after work, but I'm so stressed out right now that I don't even know if I can do that. I don't even know. Other things that I could potentially do for work. I'm just really stressed out right now, and yeah. Hopefully life, gets better. I have a good feeling that things will start improving in certain areas of my life. I just, if things start improving, maybe I'll start sleeping better, and it's just a lot that's stressing me out right now. But I'm not gonna go too much into details of my life or anything. But yeah, co-write this last week and went amazing. We jammed for a while. It wasn't just us writing a song. We played a bunch of songs, a bunch of covers, originals, stuff like that. Really good time. Somebody I played with in the past and really enjoyed it. So probably get together again here soon. Anyways, I think that is going to be it for the episode. I enjoy doing this podcast, sitting here talking. Sometimes it's nice to have people to talk about news with and even vent to about things in my life without going into too much detail. It's nice. Even though I'm tired as shit while doing it. But I think that's going to be the end of the episode. My name has been Ayden, and this has been The Ayden Jackson Show.